Hello everyone, welcome back to Speed. Still, if you have not subscribed, then do it quickly by pressing the subscribe button and support me. And don't forget to check out my previous videos. So let us begin. In this video, I will be continuing with Module 2, Energy System and its Analysis of Energy and Environment subject. So you can watch the Part 1 and Module 1 video by clicking the I at the top. As I said in previous videos, this video is enough for you to score good marks in your exams. As I covered everything which is required, you can consider this video as a study material also. Contents covered in this particular video are energy savings, energy management and audit. Under this we have definition and objective of energy management, energy audit, types and methodology, need for the energy audit. Then we have types of energy audit, under which we have preliminary and detailed energy audit. And then we will be covering the important one, that is 10 steps methodology for detailed energy audit. Then we have phase 1 and phase 2 of detailed energy audit. So these are the particulars which are covered in this particular video. So for other topic which you are particularly looking for, you can go for the other videos which are related to module 2 in the playlist. So let us begin with energy savings. Energy savings. Thermal energy storage is a key component of many successful thermal systems. Thermal energy storage should allow for the minimum reasonable thermal energy losses and the corresponding energy savings, while permitting the highest appropriate extraction efficiency of stored thermal energy, which means that there should be an efficiency while retrieving the stored energy. So it will give us a high savings of the energy. Thermal energy storage systems are an important element of many energy saving programs in a variety of sectors: residential, commercial, industrial and utility, as well as transportation sector. Thermal energy storage can be employed to reduce energy consumption or to transfer an energy load from one period to another, which means using the stored energy during high peak hours. The consumption reduction can be achieved by storing excess thermal energy that normally be released as a waste. Example, in the industries where the heat from the engines or heavy machines will be left out to environment as a waste. So such as heat produced by the equipment or appliances, by lighting or even by the occupants. Energy load transfer can be achieved by storing energy at a given time for later use and can be applied to thermal energy storage for either heating or cooling capacity. So in this particular explanation, we can see that the energy saving is particular about the thermal energy saving. So thermal energy can be stored in different types of thermal storage systems, which are explained in the previous video. So you can access that by clicking the I at the top. So by storing this energy, we can have energy savings, and thereby we can use the energy which is stored or saved during the high energy supply. Energy management and audit. Definition and objective of energy management. So here we have few definitions for energy management and energy audit. So you can go with any one which you feel easier while reading. So let us begin. The fundamental goal of energy management is to produce goods and provide services with at least cost and least environmental effect. So here goods means the source of energy. The term energy management means many things to many people. One definition of energy management is the judicious and effective use of energy to maximize profits, that means minimize the cost and enhance the competitive positions. So it means good management of energy will produce us more profit when compared to the competitors in the field of energy business. Another comprehensive definition is the strategy of adjusting and optimizing energy using systems and procedures so as to reduce energy requirements per unit of output while holding constant or reducing total cost of producing the output from these systems, which means we will be reducing the energy requirements for the unit. That means the energy required to produce unit energy of required form should be constant or should be less than the previous value. Thereby we can make a profit out of it. The objective of energy management is to achieve and maintain the optimum energy procurement and utilization throughout the organization and to minimize energy cost or waste without affecting the production or quality, to minimize the environmental effects. To be in simple words, the company should have the objective in terms of energy that they should have a minimum energy cost without affecting their production and their quality, and how and their source of energy should be such that it will not produce any harmful effects on the environment. Energy audit types and methodology. If you are new with the word audit, just remember the word auditor, which you are familiar with. Energy is the key to systematic approach for decision making in the area of energy management. So any decisions in the energy management field is dependent on energy. It attempts to balance the total energy inputs with its use and serves to identify all the energy inputs with its use and serves to identify all energy streams in a facility. It quantifies energy usage according to its discrete function. Industrial energy audit is an effective tool in defining and pursuing comprehensive energy management program. So, for any industry to make up maximum profit and to minimize its cost of production, the energy audit should play a very important role. A better the energy audit, better will be the performance of the industry. As per the Energy Conservation Act 2001, energy audit is defined as the verification, monitoring and analysis of use of energy, including submission of technical report containing recommendation for improving energy efficiency with cost benefits analysis and an action plan to reduce the energy consumption. So in simple, it's defined energy audit is collecting the data, making a technical report and providing a recommendation for the improvement and hence to reduce the consumption of energy. Need for energy audit. In any industry, the three top operating expenses are found to be energy, labor and material. So we all know that for labor there is human resource management and for material, goods and material management. So there should be a energy management in order to manage energy and its use. If one way to relate to the manageability of the cost or potential cost savings in each of the above components, energy would invariably emerge as a top ranker, and thus energy management function constitutes a strategic area for cost reduction. So as said here, energy management is one of the main or the top ranker among the other managements. Energy audit will help to understand more about the ways energy and fuel are used in any industry and help in identifying the areas where waste can occur and where the scope of improvement exists. The energy audit would give a positive orientation to the energy cost reduction, preventive maintenance and quality control programs which are vital for production and utility activities. So the energy audit will give us lots of ways to improve our quality, thereby reducing the and hence also to reduce the energy cost which is being spent on energy. Such as an audit program will help keep focus on variation which occur in energy cost, availability and reliability of supply of energy, decide on appropriate energy mix, identify energy conservation technologies, retrofit for each conservation equipment. In general, energy audit is the translation of conservation ideas into realities. By blending technically feasible solution with economic and other organizational considerations within a specified time frame. The primary objective of energy audit is to determine ways to reduce energy consumption per unit of product output or to lower the operating cost. So thereby, in simple words, we can reduce the cost of a product to be manufactured by reducing the energy particularly required to produce that particular product or a unit. Energy audit provides a benchmark for managing energy in the organization and also provides a basis for planning a more effective use of energy throughout the organization. So by carrying out the energy audit process, we can make a standard or a benchmark with which we can compare the compare our energy usage and energy savings. Thereby we can have a more effective and high efficient products manufactured with low cost. Types of energy audit. The types of energy audit to be performed depends on function and type of industry, depth to which the final audit is needed, potential and magnitude of cost reduction desired. Depending on all the above, we can make two classification of energy audit, the preliminary audit and detailed audit. So here in the figure we can see a simple process of energy audit. So initially we'll be having pre-arranged appointment, then confidential review and survey, then we have assessment of funding options, then recommendation, and then finally implementation. Preliminary energy audit methodology. Preliminary energy audit is a relative quick exercise to establish energy consumption in the organization, estimate the scope for savings, identify the most likely and easiest areas of attention, identify immediate improvements and saving, set a reference point, identify areas for more detailed study and measurement. Preliminary energy audit uses existing and easily obtained data. So in preliminary energy audit, we'll just make a note of which and all areas we have to focus for the detailed energy audit, and which and all other areas where we cannot do much of energy saving. So doing energy audit on that particular areas is just a waste of time, and few particular areas where we can save lots of energy and lots of improvement. So these will be the particulars for the application of detailed energy audit. So preliminary energy audit simply gives us the main points and the main areas where the detailed energy audit can be applied, and the preliminary energy audit is done with using a very few datas which are already available or the existing datas. Then detailed energy audit methodology. A comprehensive audit provides a detailed energy project implementation plan for the facility, since it evaluates all major energy using systems. This type of audit offers the most accurate estimate of energy savings and cost. It considers the interactive effects of all projects, accounts for energy use of all major equipments, includes detailed energy cost saving calculation and project cost. In a comprehensive audit, one of the key elements is the energy balance. This is based on the inventory of energy using systems, assumptions of current operating conditions, and calculations of energy use. This estimation using is then compared to the utility bill charges. So as mentioned here, detailed energy audit takes everything in that particular area where we are conducting detailed energy audit into its account or its consideration, and produces an estimated cost which is to be producing a better performance of that particular area. So initially all the data will be collected at a particular with the perfect values, and then using those data, the estimated energy or cost or the savings is produced using a detailed energy audit, and then this estimated whatever the cost or the profit which you have made is compared with the previous actual bill charges or the previous energy, so that we can make out the areas where the improvement is needed, and we can carry out the improvement further process for the improvement in those particular areas. So here we have detailed energy auditing is carried out in 3 phases: pre-audit phase, audit phase, and post-audit phase. So let us continue with the next slide. 10 steps methodology for detailed energy audit. Industry to industry, the methodology of energy audit needs to be flexible. So all the industries are different, so the energy audit for each of them should be different. A comprehensive 10-step methodology for conduct of energy audit at a field level is presented below. Energy manager and energy auditor may follow these steps to start with and add changes as per their needs and the industry type. So whatever the 10 steps of the methodology for the detailed energy is given here are the basics of all the types of detailed energy audit. So depending on the type of the industry and their requirement, they can make a small changes or add any other requirement or any other phase for the given 10 steps. So but these 10 steps are the basics. So in exams, all this may be the questions asked for 10 marks. So just note down the main headings and few simple purposes or the results of these 10 steps methodology. So let us begin with the first one. Before that, initially we will be having a step number, then we have plan of action, and then in the other table we will be having purpose or result. So let us begin. Phase 1. So that is phase 1 comes under pre-audit phase. So under pre-audit we have plan and organize, walk through audit, informal interview with energy manager, production and or plant manager. So here just initially we will be having the introduction part or discussion panel, or what is the what does the company needs from the auditing and other purposes. And in the next table, let us look at the purpose or the results of this step 1. So it is mentioned here that resource planning, establish or organize an energy audit team, organize instruments and time frame, macro data collection, familiarization of process and plant activities, first-hand observation and assessments of current level operation and practices. So the step 1 is all about just looking what is happening, just taking a simple look, and by that information they can get an idea of making a team for the energy audit, and they will get to understand the working of all the machineries and the equipments which are there in the company, and they will make a note on which areas to collect the data from, and they will do the first hand observation, that is simple walk around observation. And the second step is conduct of brief meeting and awareness program with all divisional heads and persons concerned. Building and the purpose of that is building up cooperation, issue of questionnaire for each department, orientation and awareness creation. So after the first step, the team has been built, and now the team has to do a meeting with all the concerned persons in the plant or organization, so that they will build up a cooperation, then they'll clarify any questions they have, and then they'll form awareness and a orientation to carry out the work efficiently. I request all of you to take a look at the steps mentioned in this particular slide before going to the next slide. Just take a pause and go through the points. From step 3 we will be having phase 2, that is audit phase. Here step 3 is primary data gathering, process flow diagram and energy utility diagram. So the purpose and the result is historic data analysis, baseline data collection, prepare process flow chart, all service utility system diagrams, example single line power distribution, all the assembly lines, all such things, design operating data and schedule of operation, annual energy bill and energy consumption pattern. So in step 3 it is about data collection and taking the process flow diagram just to make an idea of how the process carries in the organization, and all the other things are what will happen from that. So they will just have the collection of values which is required for the next calculation, and they will now come in understanding with the how the process flows in the company. Step 4 is conduct survey and monitoring. So the result is measurements, motor survey, insulation and lighting survey with portable instruments for collection of more and more accurate data, confirmation and compare operating data with design data. So they will conduct a survey once they get all the data, and so after conducting the survey they will get a particular consumption of energy in each of the equipments and the assembly lines, so that they can make a note of what particular area or equipment is considering what amount of energy, so they can improve further. Now just take a pause and read out all the whatever the steps mentioned in this particular slide. First of all, sorry if you cannot read the any lines here. So just listen, I'll read out. Step 5. Conduct of detailed trials or experiments for selected energy guzzlers. So the result is in the next table is trials and experiments. 24 hours of power monitoring, load variation trends in pumps, fans and compressors, boiler or efficiency trials, furnace efficiency trials, equipment's performance experiments, so on. So in here, just conduct of detailed trials. So in step 5, they will conduct a detailed trials of all the guzzlers, which means all the equipments. And the result is that they will collect a particular efficiencies of all the equipments present in the industry. Next step is analysis of the energy use. So in the previous step 5, they have conducted the actual experiments to find out the efficiency of all the equipments, and now in step 6 they are going to make an analysis. So the result of step 6 is energy and material balance and energy loss waste analysis. Step 7 is identification and development of energy conservation opportunities, that is ENCON. So the result is identification and consolidation of ENCON measures, conceive, develop and refine ideas, review the previous ideas suggested by unit personnel, review the previous ideas suggested by energy audit if any, use brainstorming and value analysis techniques, contact vendors for new and efficient technology. So once the analysis done, here in step 7 they will identify the ways through which we can overcome any problems. They will go through the ideas which are given by the personnels. They will also go through the ideas which are mentioned in the previous audit, and again they will just do the brainstorming in order to improve the quality, and they will just go in contact with the vendors of the particular equipments so that there are any availability of better efficient equipments. So here also just pause for a while and just go through these steps and you will understand. Here we have the continuation of phase 2. So step 8 is cost benefits analysis. Assess technical feasibility, economic visibility and prioritization of ENCON options for the implementation. Select the most promising projects, prioritize by low, medium and long term measures. So in the previous step 7 we have looked after the identify the different ways to overcome the problem. So in step 8, in among those whatever the ways we have found out in step 7, we are considering those ideas with cost benefits. So we are looking after which is the best, which will provide the most benefits with the parameter of cost. Next step is reporting and presentation to the top management. So the result is documentation, report, presentation to the top management. So once the ideas are found, and then among those ideas the best cost effective idea is selected, in step 9 we have to make a report on that, and so that we can present it to the top management to get the approval. Phase 3, that is post audit phase, implementation and follow. Once we presented everything to the top management and they will provide the approval, then we can implement it and follow up. So the result is assist and implementation of ENCON recommendation measures and monitor the performance, action plan, schedule for implementation, follow up and periodic review. So just pause now, from 1 to 10 go through all the steps and try to understand the flow, how the audit goes. Let us now go through the phases. So phase 1, pre-audit phase activities. A structured methodology to carry out an energy audit is necessary for efficient working. An initial study of site should always be carried out as the planning of procedure necessary for an audit is most important. Initial site visit and preparation required for detailed auditing. An initial site visit may take one day and gives the energy auditor or engineer an opportunity to meet the personnel concerned, to familiarize with him with the site and to access the procedure necessary to carry out the energy audit, which is step 1. During the initial site visit, the energy auditor or engineer should carry out the following actions. Discuss with the site's senior management the aims of the energy audit. Discuss economic guidelines associated with the recommendation of the audit, which is the previous one. Analyze the major energy consumption data with the relevant personnel. Obtain site drawings where available. Building layout, stream distribution, compressed air distribution, electric distribution, or any form of energy distribution is available to the site accompanied by engineer or a production personnel. So here he has to collect all the data at least in a very simple manner. Just take a look at this, because in exam if they ask 10 step, you have to explain that, or if they ask explain the phases of auditing, you have to answer this in the exam. The main aims of this site visit are to finalize energy audit team, to identify energy consuming areas or the plant items to be surveyed during the audit, to identify any existing instrumentation or additional metering required, decide whether any meters will have to be installed prior to the audit, because there may be any error or damage before the audit, so that without doing the audit itself we can just change the meter and just the meter is not working but the machine is perfect. So such situations may be there. Then to identify the instrumentation required for carrying out the audit, to plan with time frame, so the duration to which audit has to be done, because even the audit is a part where the money has to be spent. To collect macro data on plant energy resources, measure energy consuming centers, to create awareness through meetings and programs. So here the steps we can identify from the 10 steps. Then phase 2, detailed energy audit activities. Depending on the nature and complexity of the site, a comprehensive audit can take from several weeks to several months to complete. So if any site is larger than in lots of acres, it takes a lots of time to go through all the equipments. Detailed studies to establish and investigate energy and material balances for specific plant departments or items of process equipments are carried out. Whenever possible, checks of plant operation are carried out over extended periods of time, at nights and at weekends, as well as during the normal daytime working hours, to ensure that nothing has been overlooked, because sometimes there may be machines which are not in working condition because they are not needed at the particular work. Sometimes they are working, sometimes there are lots of machines are working at particular time. So all these has to be considered during the energy audit. Next para is the audit report will include a description of energy inputs and product outputs by major departments or by the major processing function, and will evaluate the efficiency of each step of the manufacturing process. Means of improving these efficiencies will be listed, and at least a preliminary assessment of cost of the improvements will be made to indicate the expected payback on any capital investment needed. The audit report should conclude with specific recommendation for detailed engineering studies and feasibility analysis, which must then be performed to justify the implementation of those conservation measures that require investments. So all these sentences are direct, I think. So just take a look at all these sentences, try to make your own sentences and write the same in the exam. So you may get at least 7 or 6 out of 8, because this is a theory subject, they are not going to give full marks. Now let us take a quick look at the information to be collected during the detailed audit. So these information include energy consumption by type of energy, by department, by major items of process equipment, and by end use. Not A and D, it should be E and D. Second one is material balance data, that is how the materials are balanced throughout the process. Then we have energy cost and tariff data, that is the cost of the energy, process and material flow diagrams, generation and distribution of site services, sources of energy supply, potential for fuel substitution, process modifications and the use of cogeneration systems, energy management procedures and energy awareness training programs within the establishment. Existing baseline information and reports are useful to get consumption pattern, production cost and productivity levels in terms of product per raw material. The audit team should collect the baseline data. So the baseline data are technology, process used and equipment details, capacity utilization, amount and types of input materials used, water consumption, fuel consumption, electrical energy consumption, steam consumption and other inputs such as compressed air, cooling water, etc. Quantity and type of waste generated, percentage of rejection or reprocessing, efficiencies and yield. So these are the details which need to be collected, and below are the baseline data which are collected. So just take a look at this, all these informations. There may be a questions on this topic. So there may be a question on explain the baseline data which are collected during the audits, so on. Here I have shown a sample report contents of a detailed energy audit. Just go through these. I don't think there will be a question on this this particular part, but for information, just go through whatever the side headings which are here. If they ask a question, just you can try it out. So go through all the side headings and what are the contents inside those side headings. So here we are at the end of part 2. In part 3 we have energy management and problems. So there is a small theory part left out, and we have few problems on which are related to energy management, which is studied which are similar to the problems which we solved in the economic subjects. So see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, share and like this video.